Welcome to MJ Hobby Corner. This is another MJ Hobby Corner game, and this is a solo game. And for today, we're playing Warmachine solo. This is something I used to do a lot back some time ago in the past. It's been quite a while, actually, quite a few years already. When Mark II Warmachine came out, I made the decision to actually get into the game. And if you look at my miniatures collection, you will notice a lot of Warmachine models. I collected a lot of the factions. I loved the models. I loved painting them. And my niece got into Warmachine, and then she liked Cryx, so she played Cryx. And so it was a fun time. But once she couldn't play anymore, I started playing solo. It's going to consist of War Witch Dinegra, which I will be facing today, War Witch Dinegra, and 3 of her jacks, 2 light jacks and 1 medium jack, I think that is. So high exemplar Kreoss, which is one of the warcasters for this faction, has decided that he's going to go up north. There's a couple of protectorate garrisons in that region to kind of protect the northern borders. And he's going to go up north and investigate what the hell is Cryx up to. Okay? Now, at this point, he doesn't really know what warcaster is involved or what exactly is involved in this thing, in this operation that Cryx seems to be moving around a lot up here in the northern region of the Protectorate, and also further north in other places of Immorin. Okay, Cryx is becoming more and more aggressive. They're starting to raid more and more villages. A lot of weird shit happening. And basically they're using swamps as their bases of operation, or forests. And whenever they go into a region, they completely change the region, and the swamps become these nightmarish realms, which are really bases of operation for Cryx warcasters. And basically here, they become haunted. They're full of spirits. They're full of all kinds of strange shit, because Cryx is a strange faction, all right? They're awesome, but they are a strange faction. Okay, so I'm only going to play 4 rounds. At the end of 4 rounds, I roll the dice, see if it continues another round. But I'm going to try to keep it short. And this is going to be kind of like a little demo game, because I am itching to play a game. And in the future, as soon as Julie gets better, we will play a 2-player game of Warmachine. And that's going to be interesting, okay? All right, so here is the board. And this is the portion of the swamp that I will be fighting in. Okay, and here is Kreoss and his 2 jacks. There's a Crusader jack, and we have the Repentor jack right here, the light jack. So Repentor, Crusader. Crusader's more of a melee jack, and my Repentor has a flamethrower, so he has a ranged attack and a nice looking mace flail right there. And there is Kreoss himself with his large morning star and his fiery magic. All right, now over here we have the little teleporters, little spawn points, really, that's what they are. And in this game, they will be used for deployment. But in other games, in future games, I spread out a bunch of those spawn points, and enemies actually spawn throughout the game. Reinforcements may spawn on those points, okay? So it can make things real hard for me. But for now, they're just deployment. We're going to roll Dinegra's deployment in just a second. And War Witch Dinegra. All right. Well, War Witch Dinegra has 7 focus. And there she is, pointing away. 7 focus, and she also has powers. Dinegra has 7 focus. She has speed 7, strength 5, mat 5, rat 4, and defense 16. Her armor is 14. Okay, so she's a tough gal, and she is sitting on, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and she is sitting on 16 health boxes. So yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so and let's see her feet. Her feet is no, these are her abilities. And her feat is the Withering. Yes, the Withering. Yikes. Okay. Enemy models suffer -2 to their speed, strength, rat defense, and armor. And it lasts 1 round. Yikes. All right. So, yeah, Cryx is really good that way. So she has her focus there. And then she has in her battle group a Slayer. Okay. She has a Death Ripper, which is a Cryx Bonejack melee critter, and she has a Defiler, which is a Cryx Bonejack, but it is the ranged version. Probably some corrosive crap that he's going to shoot. In addition to play this game, I have all my dice, some markers, and of course the little focus markers and all the cards. Okay, so let's get Dinegra deployed. And there are 3 deployment points, so we're going to do a D3 roll. And just roll it on the table, and it is a 4. Okay, so 1 through 2, 3 to 4, right in the middle, and her whole battle group gets placed right there. Okay, and I'm going to touch the spawn point and just randomly just put there the little guys there, and she has 1 more jack than I do. That's Cryx for you. Okay, and there's her battle group deployment in a line right there opposite my own, and that's how I deploy in this game. And we're gonna roll initiative and see who goes first. So Kreoss is the blue dice and Dinegra is the gray dice, and Dinegra wins that roll. Okay, you guys get to see how I do the focus, maintenance, and all that stuff. Okay, and here is my campground where the rest of my forces are camped, and this is Cryx's campground where their forces are camped. However, camps are not going to have any play in this particular game. There's not going to be any reinforcements in this game. They're just there to kind of remind me. Okay, and now to deploy, to see who goes, who moves, I have different colored gems. And each gem corresponds to the color that's above the card. Okay, and I got to rearrange these a little bit and make sure that all the colors are there. There's a green gem missing, and I'll just put that right here. Okay, and so these go in a bag, and I pick them randomly, and that's who gets to go. Okay, but first things first, let's allocate focus to the jacks. I'm just going to standardize it and start with the biggest jack. He's going to get the roll. He potentially gets the most focus. I think that makes sense, and he gets a 3. So that's 2 focus. Okay, so Dinegra is going to give him 2 focus. Okay, so there's his 2 focus. Now the rest get D3 -1. So whatever she rolled -1. So each of these is going to get 1 focus. And that's how I do my little system there. Now, there are ways to get a little bit more focus and all that, but I'm not going to deal with that in this game. So that's how it's going to be. All right, so we're ready to move. Let's see who gets to move first. All right, so let's see who goes. And it is a red gem, and if we look at the cards, it is Dinegra. So Dinegra, the War Witch, gets to go. By the way, a nifty little bag that my niece made me long ago. That's where the gems are. So, all right, Dinegra. She's going to go. Let's just put the activation marker there. And what is she going to do? Let us roll. Okay, so I rolled a 2. So she has an aggressive disposition. If she can attack, she would, but she's not in range yet, or maybe she will be. So she's going to move towards the closest unit and do a ranged attack if she can, depending on her focus. So her speed is 7. So the closest unit is obviously towards my caster. And by the way, the river can be crossed easily. It is very shallow. It is a bit of rough ground, but that's about it. And there's a little spirit right here, right next to her, trying to run away. All right, so Dinegra pauses there, and there is range. Okay, so her ranged attack has to be a spell, and if she can boost it, she will. So let's see what range. Let's see if there's anything. So range 8, and obviously she's gonna target my caster. That is one rule that I have. Casters will definitely try to target other casters. The model immediately makes 1 normal melee attack, then influence expires. Oh, so she could do that on my jacks. Okay, so she is going to pay the cost of 1 point. It is an upkeep spell. Yikes. So she takes 1 of her focus, okay? And she currently has 2 focus left. Takes 1 of her focus, discards it. And she does influence. So, oh man, let's see which jack is it. And basically, 1 through 3 is my Crusader, and 4 through 6 is my Repenter. A 1, my Crusader. She takes over my Crusader, and he suddenly turns on me and does an attack. So that really sucks. So, he's going to use his open fist. So the Crusader's mat is 6, and that is added to a 2d6 roll. 9 plus 6 is 15. Kreoss's defense is 14, so yes, it goes through. 2d6 plus 14. Oh, man, and Kreoss's armor is 15. Okay. My own Crusader does a whopping 10 points of damage. Yeah. So 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to mark off the damage with my washable marker here. 7 boxes of health left. A whopping damage by Dinegra. I think Julie is secretly controlling Dinegra. And it's only round 1, and already Dinegra is kicking my ass. All right, moving on. Guys, I forgot to mention there is an objective here we will be contesting. It's only 1 objective. That is not part of the original scenario, because the original scenario is all about the Warjacks fighting each other. But we do have a little objective, and Dinegra is, you have to be in base-to-base, at least an inch away from it, or in base-to-base contact. Dinegra's almost there, just about to score. By the way, critical mistake, when you're doing magic, you do pay the focus cost of the magic. However, you have to roll 2d6 plus the focus that you have remaining, and that is compared to the target's defense. If it passes, then the spell goes off, and whatever happens, happens. So, sorry, Kreoss, I screwed up. You're going to pay the price anyway, but no worries. Next time, we'll do it right. All right, next in line. And enemy jacks are going to have affinity for my own jacks in this scenario, meaning they will move towards my jacks rather than moving towards me. Okay, and that's just because of the way the scenario is. So it's number blue, you hear that? Color blue. And that, according to the card gem, is Defiler. So the Defiler, the ranged unit, is going to move. And let's put Dinegra's little activation marker right next to her. Okay, so now I'm just going to move this a little bit. And let's see. Here's the defiler. And now he is going to move. And he is going to move towards the closest light jack. He is a light jack himself. If he can help it, he will move towards a light jack and not towards a heavy jack. Heavy jacks can probably do a lot of damage to him. But he's going to move towards the jack and fire, if he can, on the closest unit. I haven't even deployed yet. He has a sludge cannon. His speed is 7. Oh, man, Dinegra. So he's going to move he's going to move right next to Dinegra. Okay, his 7 inches. And it's a complete move. It's not a run. Okay. And that's his focus. Okay, so whenever models can boost, they will always boost. And little guy there had a focus. He did a full move. And then he is going to do a ranged attack. Let's check his range. Make sure that he can do that. His range is 8. And, of course, the closest model in range gets the attack. And, yes, he does have range to my Repenter. And that focus gets discarded. So, he shoots his little sludge cannon on my Repenter. Okay, so let's move this back. And there's my Repenter. So, 2d6 plus 5. Let's make sure that we have all the range correct. And I'm checking the little rule book here, because we don't want to do things terribly wrong. And I rolled a 6 and a 3, so a 9, plus my rat of 5, that's 14, and his defense is 12, so yes, he does hit my dude. All right, so his armor is 17, though, and now it's 2d6 plus power. And the power of this weapon is a 12. Yikes. So I need 5s at least. 6s really to do some damage. And he rolls a 5 and a 3. So yes, he does do damage. And he does 3 points of damage. Alright, so Repenter takes 3 points of damage. And we're going to start at the leftmost column. And yeah, that's not good. 1, 2, 3. And there's a system there that's marked. But he's still okay. He still has 2 system boxes left. So, okay. So that's the end of that. And that guy now moved. And so let's see. You little chicken walker. I'm going to get you. Okay. Let's see who's next. One thing about warjacks is if the water was deeper, I'm saying this is a very shallow, like, stream thing. But if the water was deeper, their boilers actually shut off. And then they have to be reactivated by somebody. So just a note for the future. Okay, so this is a very detailed game. Warmachine is very, very detailed. And that's why I like it. All right, 2 jacks left on her agenda. And let's see what gem it is. I couldn't find my little pouch. All right, so I'm now shuffling the gems. And I pick one. And it's green. And that means the Slayer gets to move. And again, he is going to have an affinity for my own warjacks. And that's only in this scenario because this is a warjack throwdown scenario. So far, it's been Dinegra doing all the damage. He is speed 6. Now, he has 2 focus there. He is going to use 1 focus to run, because he is going to try to get as quickly as possible to where my warjack is. So that means he has a speed 6. He used a focus to run. That means that he's going to get... There is some terrain there. So I'm going to... No, he's good. He's going to move 12 inches right close to my deployment zone. and they're not even giving me a chance to freaking deploy. And then he is a melee guy, so he's not going to be able to attack. He's going to lose that focus, basically. So he keeps it there. He could use it for something defensive, maybe. I don't know. I got to check the rules. But anyway, he camps that focus. And the last chicken, of course, there's only one gem left. And there it is. The one gem goes to the little chicken walker. And he's going to be moving towards the warjacks again, towards the closest warjack, which they're all the way down here. So, okay. And Dinegra is the one that's going to be focusing on me. So that's the way I'm doing this. Okay. So now he moves, and he's going to do the same thing. He's going to run because he wants to get as close as possible. He uses one focus to run. His speed is 7, so he has a whopping 14 inches, but he's going to lose some movement here, okay? So we're going to lose 2 inches. So that keeps him at 12. Okay, and again, these little ponds don't do anything. They're just there for decoration, but in future games, they probably will. So he goes all the way here. All right, and that's the situation. That's the position. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so not a very good round, first round for Kreoss. Dinegra, it ripped into him with a spell. Now, first critical mistake of the game, spells, as I said earlier, you have to roll. I didn't do that, but Kreoss is still going to pay the price because I forgot. So you know what? Sorry, Kreoss. But we have to remember that for the future. I haven't played Warmachine in many years, guys, so please excuse it. But when I catch those mistakes, I will say it so that people know, all right? Also, this is Mark II rules, not the newer rules. Keep that in mind. Okay, but basically, okay, so next Cryx phase, we're going to have a maintenance phase. This phase, we only had a control phase and then moved on from the control phase to the activation phase. Kreoss right now is going to start with his control phase because we don't have a maintenance phase this round, okay? So basically that's it, and let's move on to Kreoss. He's not doing very good. And very important, mistake number 2. The Defiler's not able to shoot its sludge cannon when it runs, okay? Very important. Again, it's been years since I've played. I'm not doing too bad, considering. So, I took off the damage from the Repenter because he wasn't supposed to fire, okay? So, I'll forgive the Repenter, take off the damage off of him, and next time, if a Warjack runs, he uses his focus, he cannot do anything else. Same thing with any other model. If they run, they can't do anything else. Their activation ends, okay? So, okay, and here is the position of the enemy. There's my deployment zone. The Slayer is headed right towards my Heavy Jack. And we have the Chicken Walkers coming in. They're probably going to attack my Repenter. And then I'm going to get the hell out of there just in case. And, of course, Dinegra has her sights on me. So there's the position. And now let's go with Kreoss. Kreoss control phase. Now, this is easier because I get to control my models and decide. He is sitting on 7 focus, so I think I'm gonna give this dude here 2 focus. I'm gonna give my Repenter. Let me see. I'm gonna look at my spells a little bit. Just give me a second. Yeah, so I want to keep enough focus for spells, but I'm going to give my jacks 2 focus each because they're going to need the focus. Then I'm going to move, and then I'm going to do some kind of spell. Let's see what I can do. All right, so Kreoss has to do something here, and he's going to move his speed of 5. He's not very fast. I don't want to run him. Okay, so he's going to go around his jack 3 and just move right by the stream, and let's see if he can do a spell on Dinegra. He has Dinegra in his sights. So he just made a 5-inch move. And Cleansing Fire. It causes fire damage, and models may suffer the continuous fire effect. So she could be set on fire depending on the roll. It's on a critical hit, actually. So if I get two of the same numbers, two numbers the same when I'm rolling the attack, then it becomes a critical hit and she gets set on fire. Otherwise, it's just a one-time damage. So, it has no upkeep. A range of 8. Yes, she is in range and in line of sight. And it has a cost of 3, and that's exactly what he has, 3 focus. So, he's going to pay 3 focus. Okay. Discard them. He now has no focus left. And we are going to do a fire spell. So now we're going to do it right. We're going to do the attack spell. It has a 3-inch AoE. So that means that the chicken walker and probably the poor little beetle there is going to be hit. Okay. Okay, so Kreoss fails his spell. No fire for Kreoss. And now I think I'm going to move my Warjack. Crusader's going to turn. And then he is going to move into combat. Okay. And he goes against the Slayer. And he still has his 2 focus. So let's see what happens. Okay, so my Crusader has, let's see. He has Mat 6, and I rolled 2d6. Okay. Let's just roll it on the table and see. 2d6, a 4 and a 3. 13. The Slayer's defense is also 13. Okay, so he basically blocks the hit. It doesn't do anything. All right, now, next, I have one more attack, and he's going to do his Inferno Mace, which is power 7. Okay, so, again, Mat 6. And this time, why didn't I think of that? I'm going to boost my roll and add another dice. And then that's 10, 11, 12. All right, so my boosted damage altogether was 29. Minus the armor of the Slayer is 16. So the Slayer takes 16 points of damage plus. Okay, and we have to roll to see what column the damage starts in. That's something I forgot last time. All right, so column 1. So 16 to column 1. Okay, so this is what his damage looks like. He has 2 systems crippled. His left arm, so he cannot use one of his death claws, and his movement is also affected. He has base defense of 7 from 13. So moving on, now my Repenter, he's going to forfeit his movement, but he's going to do a ranged attack. So I'm going to take a focus, and I'm going to use that focus to boost. So I use 3 dice, and let's see. Rat is 5. Let's roll 3 dice. And, you know, I could do it on the Slayer, but I'm going to do it on the little guy. I'm going to try to weaken that little guy. Maybe take him out. Okay, so his defense is 15, and I'm rolling 3 dice. Okay, an 11. So his defense is 15, so yes, it hits. And now for damage. And his armor is 14. And I am going to boost that damage using my last focus. Alright, so 6 and 6. That is a 12. There is 2 dice that are the same right here. So that is a critical hit. And there you go. And then now he suffers the continuous fire effect as well. Right here. There we go. He is also on fire. And let's do his damage. Well, I hit a couple of systems. One more point of damage on that cortex, and he's out. He cannot receive focus, but he's still functional for now. Okay, and Kreoss is in command range of all his jacks. That's very important. And Dinegra is in command range of all her jacks. Okay. All right, then. So now, continuous effects. I roll a d6 for the first effect. On a 1 or 2, it is canceled. And it is a 5. So, it remains in play. Okay, so now I'm going to roll for fire. It's a model on fire suffers a power 12 damage roll each turn. So, okay, each turn that it remains in play. Power 12 damage roll. So that's 2d6. That is a 6 and a 4. That is a 10. Plus 12 is 22. The armor of the little guy here is, what is his armor? 17. Okay. So that's 5 more points of damage due to fire. All right. We're doing well. Right, and rolling on the column, that's column 3. Okay. So, and yes, it does continue, and he gets a power 12 damage roll because he is burning. All right, so power 12 plus 2d6, that is a 5. A 17. Slayer has a defense of 7 now, remember. So, he has a defense of 7, and I got a 17. So that is 10 points of damage. So he has 2 boxes left. One of it is his right system. All his systems are pretty much out. Yeah, this guy's on his way out. So Dinegra, it now takes her turn. She was the first. She had 1 initiative in the beginning. And you only roll once, basically to determine the order of play. So she is first. And now she's going to roll to see how she allocates her focus. Now, here is this jack, and that jack. We're going to give it to the Slayer first and see what happens. All right, he rolls a 2. So that is 1 focus point. And so, yeah, she's reluctant to give a jack that is on its way out too much focus. So she gives him 1 focus. That means that all jacks get 1 focus as well. Because it's D3 minus 1, but they all have to have at least 1 focus. That's the rule that I put. So they all get 1 focus each. She then camps the rest of the focus for her use. And that means she has 3 focus left to do whatever she wants. Now, if that Slayer goes out, she's going to have more focus camped, and she's going to start getting pissed. All right, so let's see who takes the first move. And that was my control phase, by the way. All right, this is the activation phase. It is the yellow gem, which means Death Ripper, who is now burning. All right, he gets to go. And now let's see, because he's really injured. He has his head and his cortex intact, so yes, he can receive focus. Okay, correction, and I did check the rules. It's great when a book has index, by the way. I did check the rules. He can move. He can make a basic move. He just can't run or charge, and his base defense is a 7. So, basically, he is going to go for the Repenter because he doesn't know any better, and that's what he's here to do. So, he moves. And he has a speed of 7, so he has plenty of movement there. And take his little focus with him, and his little fire, because he is on fire. Let me see if I can pin it here. There you go. He's on fire. Yeah, all right. So now he moves into base contact with the Repenter, okay? He's going to boost his hit. So he uses his only focus. So that is an 11, a 6, a 1, and a 4 because he boosted. So 11 plus his mat of 6 is 17, which definitely hits my Repenter. His defense is only 12. So now he rolls 2 dice for damage. Lucky he didn't have another focus. And his power and strength is equal 13. So 13 plus 2 dice. Wow, a 5 and a 4 is a 9. Okay, so yeah, I take some damage. Okay, so let's just roll to see what column that damage is. 6, starting at column 6, 5 points. Okay, and that's what that looks like. 5 points. Took out one of his right arms, but it looks like he's still okay. Okay, no major systems. He still has all his systems. All right. All right, battle continues with Cryx. And next activation, random activation, is green. We have a green gem, which is the Slayer. All right, well, Slayer's not doing very good. Mat of 7 plus 2 dice. So 5, 6, 7 plus 7 is 14. He hits my Crusader, which is defense 10. So yes, he does hit. Crusader takes 3 points of damage. And that is what it looks like. Okay, so 3 points of damage to column 4. And Crusader is okay. So let's roll the dice. Another 2. Okay. And she is going to move towards the closest caster model and do a magic attack. She will boost it if possible. All right. If she can't boost it because she needs the focus to actually pay for the spell, then she won't boost it. All right. So she's going to move a little bit closer to Kreoss. We're going to move 4, which is close to half. Okay. And yeah, she's going to keep a little bit of distance from him. Okay. Now, there are results in the AI that also cause her to charge. If I got that result, she would immediately just charge and make a melee attack. But she is on the aggressive ranged attack result for her AI. Let's see which spell she's going to get. She does 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is Scourge. All models hit by Scourge are knocked down. And that's result number 5. I just rolled it randomly. However, it costs 4, so she cannot do that. Okay, so she's just going to go 1 spell down from 5 because she can't do 5 because it's not enough. She doesn't have enough of the focus that she needs. And she's going to do Venom instead. She needs to hit a 14 on 2 dice. She can't do it. She has no other bonuses. No kind of focus that she could add to the roll. So basically, it does not do anything. So Dinegra just pretty much wasted that turn. Good for you, Dinegra. And the little spirit, we're going to move him because the little spirit's like running away. Ah! All right. So little spirit runs away from Dinegra. Okay. So basically, she moved. She attempted a spell, but she can't really do it. So that's the end of that. Okay. And she has no other action, so that's it. Okay. So that was the end of Dinegra. And now her last model is going to be one of her jacks. So he's going to move. In front of Dinegra. With his little focus. And his little activation gem. And basically he is going to fire his corrosion sludge cannon at my Repenter. All right. So I had to change his move a little bit because the Repenter's in the way. So he's going to fire on the, he's going to fire on the Repenter. He's going to ignore Kreoss, even though Kreoss is closest to him. And that's going to be his undoing, maybe. But he's going to fire on the Repenter because this is a Warjack versus Warjack scenario. They're pretty much equipped or pretty much ordered to attack the enemy Warjacks. So this is Mangled Metal. Okay, so he's going to ignore Kreoss for the time being. 2 dice, rat. Range. So range 5. Okay. So that is a 9 plus 5 is 14. So a 14. My Repenter's defense is a 12. So yes, absolutely, he hits. Okay, and he did have a focus. So it was supposed to be 3 dice. Okay, so I'm going to actually use this focus to boost his damage. Because I forgot, and you know, fair is fair. And normally it would be his hit roll that is affected, but because I forgot, sorry, Repenter, you're going to pay the price for my mistake. He boosts his damage, which is the worst thing he can boost. Boosted damage! 12 plus 12 is 24. So Repenter takes 7 points of damage, and that's what looks like. It was to column 4. Okay, so that's what it looks like. He's still okay, but he's taking some damage, and now he has the corrosion continuous effect. So in the maintenance phase, I'll have to roll. If not, he's going to be taking a damage point every turn. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay, so round 2, and it is now my turn. It is Kreoss's turn. And first things first, there's no maintenance effect. Well, there's the corrosion there. So anything else he does, and he does 3, 4, and 5. So a 5 means he takes a point of corrosion damage. Not too bad, but it eats away at you very slowly. So if it doesn't go away, Repenter is going to be kind of sad. And let's see what column that point of damage is. 3. There's nothing else to do. It is now the control phase. And Kreoss, I'm going to move it here. Kreoss is now going to distribute his focus to the Repenter, to focus, and he's going to camp for focus. I'm going to kick off his feet. Menoth's Wrath. Enemy models currently in Kreoss control area are knocked down. Control area is the command area. So let's see. 8 inches. Pretty much everything, including Dinegra. Okay. And Dinegra is... yeah, I wish she would have been in my line of sight. Maybe I should have waited for that. I'm going to do it, though. Everybody's knocked down, including Dinegra. Okay, so we're going to just put some markers on it and come back. And then I'm going to decide what to do. I'm probably going to attack that wee little Death Ripper. Decided that Kreoss will then target Dinegra, which is over here, using a spell, using Cleansing Fire again. Now, she is also knocked down. So the spell hits automatically, but I do have to pay a cost of 3. Okay, so I'm going to boost the damage with another focus, my last focus, and do 3 dice. It is power 14. $27. Okay, and Dinegra's defense is 16, equals 11 points of damage, but she does not suffer the continuous fire effect because I did not roll to hit. And you need criticals in order for the continuous fire to do effect, all right? Now, I could roll it if I want a critical. I'll just take what I got. And that's 11 points of damage. Okay, and so Dinegra now has 5 health left. Yeah, wow. Very good revenge on Dinegra. Next is my Repenter, and the little dude is knocked down. So it hits automatically. And let's see. I am going to boost the shot. Okay? And you can buy attacks in this game. That's another thing I wasn't remembering. You can buy extra attacks for your Warjacks. But for now, I'm going to do a boost to damage. With the War Flail, it's 13. So 13 plus 3 dice. So 13 plus 13 is 26. And minus the armor of 14. Yes, I think he is down and out. Is left, so he's completely out, and this guy is suddenly destroyed. Yes, Repenter. For this devastating turn for Cryx is my Crusader, and this guy's on fire, and he's got all kinds of damage, but he's going to do his open fist first. So 2 dice plus 14 is 22. And then Slayer's armor of 17, so minus 17 gives him 5 points of damage to column 6. And that is it for the Slayer, folks, because he only had 2 boxes left. So basically the Slayer is now destroyed, and Dinegra is not happy, so he cannot run. So basically we're just going to move him his 4, and he's going to go right there, and he's going to lose that focus, but oh well. That's it. That's all he can do. And that is the end of my turn. All right. So that is the end of round 2. A devastating round for Cryx. They lose 2 Warjacks, and it's just Dinegra and 1 Jack, and basically I destroy that Jack, and I win the game. So, all right. Let's move on. And it's the Defiler. All right. So, first things first, we have to do the rolls for Dinegra for her control phase. And then the Defiler is going to get to move. Okay, so I'm just going to put this gem here to remind me. But now it's her control phase, and she's going to roll a D3 on him. She rolls a 2, so he gets 1 focus point. And she's going to camp all her focus, all right? She's going to camp all her focus. So his rat is 5. Let's do this. 10 plus 5 is 15. And my Repenter already has some damage. So defense of 12, so yes, it is a hit. Okay, and that was a boosted hit. So, I'm very fortunate that it wasn't the damage. He is going to roll for damage. His power is 12. Rolls a 6 and a 2. So that's an 8. Plus 12 is 20. And 20 minus my armor of 17 is 3 points of damage, and he does it to column 2. Yeah, he's starting to take some damage there. He's still okay, but he's starting to take some real damage there. All right, let's see now what happens. No systems are down yet, and he has the corrosion, and then that's the end of the Repenter. And now it is Dinegra, and this we're going to see. If she rolls low again, I think I'm going to re-roll just to give her a little chance, you know, to see something different. Nope. and that is a 5. So she's going to move past her defiler. She's going to go into melee contact with me. See, so that AI, depending on what she does now, she could be doing something good. Now, she did not pop a feat. The 2 feet things are higher numbers. She has been rolling very low for that, for her AI. And I'm going to tweak the AI as well and probably do a more of a caster-oriented AI, not a faction-oriented AI. Now, she has a lot of focus, so she's going to definitely boost her hit, okay? So this could be very bad for me. So 3 dice, and her power plus strength is 12. Oh boy, she has a lot of abilities on this weapon. So let's see. Kreoss, this could be the end of the game for you. All right. And her mat is 5. I rolled 8. Oh yeah, I rolled an 11. Plus her mat of 5 is 16. So definitely a hit. And she's going to boost damage because she has way more than enough focus. So she will definitely boost damage. And power plus strength is 12. Oh man, a 10 and 11 plus a 12 is 23. 23 minus armor 15. All right, folks, you could be witnessing the end of Kreoss. He is out of the game. Kreoss goes down by a swift melee attack by Dinegra, and he is out of the game. Round 3, game ends with Kreoss assassinated. All right. Kreoss took him out. Okay, so obviously Cryx gains victory. So this is the way I do my campaign stuff for this solo game. In order to add narrative and a little bit of homebrew stuff, okay? This is all homebrew. It's not part of Warmachine rules. We have these things called currency or currency points. For every victory point that is earned, and I call it a victory point, not a control point, but whatever. For every victory point that is earned, you get what's called a currency point. Currency points can be used to buy additional units from my armory. Okay, and those units go into my garrison or field camp. I call it a field camp sometimes, but my garrison, right? And that garrison builds up, and there is a limit to how many troops I can keep in there. But so some games I won't be able to buy anything. But basically, it builds it up, and then at the end, and for every game, that becomes my pool of models to use for the game. All scenarios, all games still go by the point system in Warmachine. So basically, if I'm playing a 15-point game, I choose them from my garrison, right? Okay, so of course, I have to have 15 points in there, but whatever, 15 points or less, whatever it is I'm playing, it comes out of the garrison. So it's good to keep building up. And usually I put like, since I'm playing very small games, I go a little over 15 points in the garrison in order that I have enough choice of troops so I can make some interesting little war bands for the game. Now, the AI has the same ability. So the way I do it for Dinegra is there's a table with the armory, and she gets to roll, and then whatever comes up, that's the unit she's purchasing, and she uses her currency points to do that. So her garrison builds up as well. Now, currency points work on a 1-to-1 ratio. So for every victory point, 1 currency point. Also, for every victory point, you get 1 experience points. And models do get to level up. And I have names for each of the levels. So I think the first level for Dinegra is Dark Mistress. Okay. But in order to level up, it's 2 experience points for every level. Something like that. I'll have to check my notes. But that's probably what it is. Dinegra has earned 3 victory points because she killed my caster. So she has 3 currency points and 3 experience points. She's going to level up to Dark Mistress. That gives her a little benefit, which you'll see in the next game. And also, Kreoss gets 2 victory points because he killed 2 warjacks. So every warjack is worth 1 victory point. So that means he gets 2 currency points to spend, even though he's brought back to the garrison, being carried by his warjack because he was taken out. All right, so he's not dead, he's wounded, but he's badly wounded, so he cannot come in the next game. Next game, I'm gonna have to rely on the other units on my garrison in order to keep things going. Okay, now if I lose again, what's gonna happen is the armory is going to start to take away currency points. I'm gonna have minuses, and so I'm not gonna be able to buy units or build it up. And if I lose 3 games in a row, campaign is over. That's it, no more. Kreoss has to go back in embarrassment to the protectorate. All right, and that probably won't be good. I was using an old version of the AI that I created years ago, so I'm going to be tweaking it now and doing it not per faction but per caster, which makes a little more sense. I'm going to think about the caster a little bit and make up an AI that's a little interesting for them. Okay, think about how they play and all that. And that's about it. And hopefully you guys like this game. I want to continue playing Warmachine solo, so we'll see what happens in the next game. What happens to Kreoss forces, and will they ever find out what Cryx is doing? Okay, so we'll talk very soon. See you guys.